HRN listeners. As we celebrate our 15th year, we are deepening our commitment to giving voice to the next generation of food systems storytellers, and we need your help. Our internship and fellowship programs help activate new possibilities for underrepresented and underestimated young people through experiential journalism, audio engineering, and production training. Through these unique programs, HRN helps food equity stewards build essential workforce readiness skills that expand their potential and foster economic mobility. Please consider supporting these critical programs. And with a minimum donation, you can be entered to win a dinner for two at an amazing restaurant in one of 8 cities and tickets to a concert at a great venue in one of those cities. We have incredible partners across the country who have donated, as they also share our passion for helping to educate the next generation of food systems storytellers. Check out heritageradionetwork.org/15 to donate and enter to win today. That's heritageradionetwork.org/15 to donate and enter to win today. And make sure you donate before March 31st. Thank you.
This episode is brought to you by Springer Mountain Farms Chicken. No antibiotics, herbicides, or pesticides. Just pure chicken, humanely raised on a vegetarian diet. It's the natural choice of celebrated chefs. For more information, visit m.springermountainfarms.com.
Hey, and thanks for joining Heritage Radio Network on tour.
Yeah.
We are your hosts. I'm Caity Moseman Wadler.
Jack Inslee right here to Katie's left.
Today we are on location in Nashville, Tennessee with Chef Sal Avila at Prima.
Yeah, first day in Nashville for us. Well, we got here last night, to be clear. But loving Nashville so far. We're at Prima. This dining room is really beautiful. Like big glass windows everywhere, tons of natural light. Very, as we learn, photo friendly.
It's all
Yes.
Yeah.
this radio show.
There's an incredible, huge fiber optic lighting fixture, sculpture in the middle of the dining room that is a major focal point.
True.
Really beautiful.
And we just had a hell of a meal here, too, full disclosure. Really, really delicious. But we'll get to all that. Katie, who are we talking to today?
So I'm really, really pleased to introduce Chef Sal Avila. He's originally from Columbia, Tennessee, and he's worked at a number of restaurants in Nashville, including as sous chef to Tandy Wilson at City House. And he's been experienced in kitchens from New York to California. At only 33, he opened Prima as executive chef in 2014 to rave reviews. Eater calls Prima an essential Nashville restaurant, and they've made wine enthusiast lists of America's 100 best wine restaurants for 2 years in a row. Sal, thank you so much for having us here today.
Oh, thank you for coming.
Yeah, this is awesome, man. We're going to start the interview off with a little rapid fire. These are like a series of questions we're asking everybody.
Should I put my apron back on?
What's that?
Do I need to put my apron back on? Or?
You're back on the line.
Okay.
No, we did forget to mention that Sal's got a Tecate with him, which immediately makes him awesome.
No lime, no salt,
Yeah.
no training wheels.
So first question we're asking everybody, literally, what is the last great bite that you put into your mouth?
This is an internet show, right?
It is.
So
So you can.
I was going to say something about my girlfriend, but it's probably going to be these ricotta dumplings that we have on the tasting menu right now. It's just simply, it's ricotta, Parmesan, and black pepper folded in semolina, and then they sit in the semolina for 2 days, and then we baste them in brown butter. And it's so simple and crispy on the outside and super oozy on the inside. It's very delicious.
Great answer. For us, obviously the last great bite we had was the food we ate here, but first thing we did was Prince's hot chicken last night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Extra
You see
hot.
our bathrooms yet? They're
Yes.
really nice, just in case you...
Yeah, it's wonderful, actually.
Just in case you need a stop.
There's nice art in there.
Yeah,
as
very
well.
nice art. We got 4 bathrooms. A lot of
Oh,
bathrooms
yes. All right, second rapid fire question, and you got to be honest. What is in your home refrigerator as we speak?
Ooh, see, it's tough because we're about to start. I have to start the whole 30 diet here in a couple days.
Oh, wow.
Because I feel like I'm 72, even though she just said I'm 35. So right now we have LaCroix, we have passion fruit, mango, and grapefruit.
A variety.
Water. We have several kinds of hummus that I got to throw away tomorrow. I probably have condiments, hot sauce, and some cilantro that's been there since 2012 probably. So that's about it.
Yeah, that's us
Yeah,
too.
that's about it.
We have that cilantro at home too. It's nice. It's a good garnish. All right, next question here. This will be a fun one. Your favorite childhood meal? Like, what comes to mind?
Oh, my mom's
up?
enchiladas, without a doubt. She is a pretty amazing cook, but she just always. My favorite ones were just shredded chicken, cheese. She had like the really terrible American like Mexican blend.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about? Like Kraft makes it's like it's probably all plastic.
Yeah.
It's probably why I'm
melts
gonna
well.
get cancer in a couple of years because we ate so much of this shit cheese. But I would wake up every morning on Sunday. It was usually on a Sunday. I'd wake up thinking I was getting gassed, like I couldn't breathe, and I'm like run to the kitchen coughing like I've been smoking for 70 years. And my mom's in there like, oh, good morning, kid, how are you? All happy. And I'm like, I can't breathe. She's got chilies in the oven just roasting away. And then she makes the sauce, enchilada sauce, and then I help her grate the cheese, pull the chicken, roll the little taquitos, and then we put them in a row, bake them. And that was kind of my first experience in the kitchen, too. Wow. Grating cheese, pulling chicken, and making enchiladas.
Would that also be like your last meal, if you had to have a last meal?
Absolutely. Yeah, the Tennessean did a thing, like a chef de jour a couple years ago, and they asked me my last meal was with enchiladas, something from City House, something from Prima, and that was about it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, last rapid fire question. As we speak, what's like the proudest piece of produce you have going in the restaurant right now?
Proudest?
Uh-huh. Like what are you most proud of?
Actually, it's nothing it's nothing special. They're just like the shit pepperoncinis you get from Restaurant Depot, but we're taking them and we're burning them on a grill. And we take the stem off and then we puree them and I make a vinaigrette out of that. So it's, pickled pepperoncinis, but we burn them and turn them into vinaigrette. And right now I'm doing it with a lot of like grilled green beans and we do like raw turnips. It's a really cool little burning peppers is kind of like our thing right now. Yeah.
We also had a hot sauce here I want to mention. Maybe you could tell. What was the hot sauce you brought us? What was it called?
Well, I brought you 4.
You did.
We'll start from the least spicy would be the salsa quemada, which is like the burnt avocados and tomatillos, like raw onions and stuff. Really good, right? That's on one of our dishes for our dinner menu with the chorizo. And we got a sepia braise that goes on the bottom of that. And the second one would probably be the peanuts and guajillo chili salsa. We do that one with family. It's just for family meals, so we just have those around for us. And then we had the Tennessee Rain, which is kind of a long story, but it's Martin's Barbecue. They have a whole hog barbecue sauce that they call Beach Road 12. They've recently changed it to Jack's Creek. And I take all what we call the Beach Road 12 poop, which is all the stuff you strain out of the barbecue sauce. And we ferment that and puree it, add some more vinegar, and make our own little kind of Tabasco-style sweet Tennessee Rain. And then we have, can I say it on the radio? Yeah. All right, I've always wanted to say this. The Devil's Dick, because it's just pure fire. I mean, Prince's, it doesn't stand a chance. It's like Prince's Extra Hot, this is what this is. On steroids. Yeah.
I was just getting over Prince's Extra Hot, and then I had a taste of that, and it like...
Did you lick the tip?
Yeah, I did.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. Well,
With that,
thanks.
Jack, I don't think you're ever getting over Prince's Extra Hot.
No.
I'm not. Did you cry? Did your eyeballs sweat?
A little bit.
You get that like right above your eyeballs?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, that brings us to the end of our rapid fire segment. We have to take a quick break. Please stay with us.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
This episode was brought to you by Springer Mountain Farms Chicken. For almost 50 years, Springer has been family-owned and family-run. Today, there are over 300 family farmers raising birds in Georgia's Blue Ridge Mountains. Many of them are second, even third generation. They're committed to doing things the right way. Springer was one of the first poultry companies to forego the use of antibiotics, and they've embraced other humane practices too. In fact, they were the first poultry company to earn the American Humane Association's seal of approval. Springer has also led the way in testing for and eliminating all herbicides and pesticides from the chicken's feed supply. Springer Mountain farmers know what's best for your chicken. We're into that. Better feed, better care for the animals. It just makes sense. From their family's farms to your family's table. Springer Mountain Farms. For more information, visit m.springermountainfarms.com.
And we're back. You are listening to Heritage Radio Network on tour, on location in Nashville, Tennessee. And our guest today is Chef Sal Avila of Prima. So you've kind of scolded me a little bit not to call you Chef, so I'm going to try to remember to keep calling you Sal. Thank you. Can you just say a few words about your vision for Prima?
Well, we wanted to do something different with with a fine dining restaurant. Everything's super plated. Super artsy fartsy. I wanted to bring in that kind of Napa wine country, rustic, rich uncle feel, where you're sitting on a patio and the furniture around you is baller as shit, but then you have like a simple grilled fish on the table with some really nice olive oil, maybe some like perfect tomatoes on the side, and just do something simple like that. And that's kind of what we're fighting for now, because a lot of people come in here, they see the sculpture, they see the nice stuff, and they expect that super fine dining, overplated, manipulated food, and so it's been a struggle, but a new American food is what we want to do, and I think what that means is I get to do whatever I want, and I hope you like it.
I can vouch for it, and this morning I really see your aesthetic. I had an amazing plate of chilaquiles that was not fussy. It was perfect, so delicious, smoky chicken.
Yeah, you got brunch. That's kind of like the redhead stepchild. I got to like really have fun with the brunch menu, and that's why we do chilaquiles. And because I want to eat chilaquiles is what I want to eat when I'm hungover. And I usually come to work on Sunday hungover. So it's good to have all the stuff that you want to eat while you're hungover at work. So it's just better for your food costs to have it on the menu.
Sure.
Hangover food,
Sure. And obviously your Mexican heritage plays into your menu here very strongly at Prima, but you seem to have a lot of other international influences as well. And also, being in Nashville, you have the Southern food influence, and, you're taking like the kind of hot chicken culture and doing something different with it. So can you talk a little bit about your other influences and how specifically are you playing with chicken in your restaurant? That's something a little different for Nashville.
Yeah, so as far as my influence goes, my career has been strong Italian, like very Italian, North African, Spanish, and French, so Mediterranean as a whole. And then I moved to Tennessee, and that's when I started getting my roots in Southern food, but mainly Southern ingredients, not so much like cornbread and grits and things like that, but more of like the Southern ingredient. How can I use that in my classical training in Italian food and do something that I want to kind of play with to figure out who I am, because I still don't know shit. I'm only 35, so. But as far as chicken goes, here we started doing just grilled chicken, and it was really good. And then Francis Moseman came into my life and showed me how to cook chicken on a string, and I kind of fell in love with putting stuff on a string. And to be able to smoke chicken like that with no contact to anything, it just floats there and sitting in smoke for 3 hours. It gets super tender and smoky, and it stays juicy forever. It's ridiculous. And then to put the Nashville spin on it, probably the thing I made most in California was salsa arrabiata. And it's just like a classic Italian spicy pasta sauce. Peppers, tomatoes, And so what I did was take all the peppers we have seasonally, plus all the pickled peppers I've had from last year, all the, Calabrian chilies, the dried chilies. We pretty much put every chili we have. We balance it pretty well, I think, and make that sauce that we smoke some stuff, we burn some stuff, but we cook it in the angry style where I usually put on some shitty music, maybe like Taylor Swift to put me in a really bad mood, and then I turn the pan on way too hot, and then I just start cooking, and then I get way too busy, I spread myself really thin, burn the sauce, so it pisses me off even more, and then I just build the flavors that way, and it usually turns out pretty damn awesome. All intentional, yeah. But you got to kind of make it unintentional, It's a tricky thing, and I think that's what makes it so beautiful,
Yeah. Well, absolutely. That salsa came out of this morning was really something special.
Yeah.
And see this strong Francis Malman influence, but I think you really made that your own. And
yeah, thank you.
It was so fresh.
The chicken and the chilaquiles is actually the leftover chicken on a string from last night.
Yeah.
So whatever we don't use last night, we just pull that, and that's why it's so smoky and tender and it's still juicy.
So I think it's safe to say that I won breakfast this morning.
Yeah.
I want to ask one thing. Describe the chicken in a string setup like that you have in the kitchen. Try to for radio listeners,
So if you can imagine just any normal commercial kitchen, we have the hood system. We have an 8-foot wide hood over our charbroil or our wood-burning grill. I bought a closet rod from Home Depot, stainless steel, and that hangs about at, I want to say, I'm 6 foot, 6'2" on the radio. So about 7'2" it hangs the rod. And so we just take regular butcher's twine about 2 feet, about a foot over the grill, with a nice medium fire, and the chicken is trussed in a way where we can spin it in any direction. And we use the hangers that our linen companies throw away. We cut those into little pieces to make hooks out of them, and we just kind of hang it. And we always start on the back first, so we hang breast side up and kind of heat the chicken gently through the back, so you're not really overcooking anything. Mm-hmm. And then the last probably 30 minutes, we flip it over onto the breast and caramelize that skin and try to render the skin as much as possible. So when we finish it, it has some texture to it, and it's not that gelatinous, gross grandma boiled chicken stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
You ready to do it on your own? Yeah.
Yeah. So in your LinkedIn profile, Sal, you say that going to culinary school doesn't make you a chef, and that you'll know when you're a chef.
Yeah.
With all the success that you're having at Prima, would you say now that you are, in fact, a chef?
No, because the little things still bother me. You know, I still have those moments where I panic and don't realize I know the answer. I think when you become a chef, it's when anything happens and you're just like, all right, fuck it, let's do it. And if you look at Thomas Keller and Daniel Boulud and those guys that are like the monumental chefs, and you just see the way they walk, their swag, that's what makes you a chef. The fact that you can just walk into a kitchen and see a steak 20 feet away and be like, it's overcooked. You know, it's like, how do you know that? Superhero, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I always tell people, like, people nowadays, because the chef thing is so big, that people use the word chef like 14-year-olds would use the word love. You know, just because of this feeling inside, I love you so much, it's never going to go away. You know, no, you don't know shit. You know, but to be a chef, I mean, it takes a lot more than a degree, especially a 1-year associate's degree from some shit school with retired cooks. You know, it's so hard to be a chef, to know how to fix a refrigerator, you know, watch your food costs, adjust your schedule on the fly, please your GM, stroke your owner. You know, it's just so many things that could really destroy your insides, you know. Mm-hmm. And it's a struggle every day to come to work and be like, yeah, I'm here, I'm going to do this 100%. You know, to do that every day is a struggle. So to be called a chef, I think, is when you walk in every day, no struggle ever again.
Yeah.
Because you know you have the people around you that could do it, you know.
Well, I think it's safe to say you're well on your way. I appreciate, too, that level of humility and honesty that you really bring.
Well, thank you.
But I really have to commend you that at such a young age you are really having incredible success here and been just absolutely celebrated in the media, the local and national media. So I think that's been really cool for you.
I think it's just affirmative action at work, you know. For every 3 gringos, I need to add a Latino in there. So.
No. All right, I got to ask you one question based on some media coverage that I saw. There's a profile of you in the Tennessean, and you've had a lot of experience in restaurants in the U.S. from coast to coast. Mm-hmm. And there's a hint in there that you were coast hopping because you were following love from coast to coast,
yep.
And then you wound up returning home. And I was wondering if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit of that story with us.
All right, so this is when I first started cooking. I was in California, and the girl I was seeing at the time she had some psoriasis, and her doctor, after all the treatments she tried, was like, you know, you could really do good with a lot of salt water and sun. Fucking Hawaii, let's go to Hawaii. I mean, we're surrounded by salt water and sun. So we did that, and it was really hard for me to find a job out there because the turnover is so low because nobody leaves. And there wasn't really the kind of food I wanted to cook. I didn't research it that well. I just thought, I mean, you know, my ego was a lot bigger back then because I was 21. But, you know, it was hard to find a job. So I started doing home theater work. And I didn't last very long in Hawaii, like 6 months, and I got island fever, and I had to leave. Went back to California, got with a different girl, and then broke my heart again, and then, I broke her heart, or I don't remember what happened. We were drunk the whole time. So then I came back to Nashville in 2007.
Yeah.
And that's where I met Tandy Wilson in City House, and I think that's when my life started to change for the better. Because after 5 months at City House, an old fling sparked back in California, and just so happened that probably the biggest influence of my life, Robert Holt, who I worked for about 4 years, called me up and wanted to open a restaurant with me. I was like, all right, well, this is all working out pretty awesome. Everything was lining up, so why not? We opened Marzano in Oakland in 2007, and it was a big hit. We killed it. Kind of had a little issues with alcohol and medical marijuana. No, I didn't have a card. My friends got it all for me. And so, and then my nephews here in Tennessee started to grow up and get bigger, and they needed a positive influence in their life, So I decided to come back home, clean up, and, go back to City House and just, really be a family person again, because I was away from my whole family for 8 years, and learning how to cook in California, basically. So I figured I kind of had the chops, and so I came back to Nashville.
Wow. Well, it seems like it all really worked out for you in the end.
Yeah. And there was a stint there where I didn't want to be in Nashville, and I spent a couple of days in New York cooking, and that's about it.
And, you were in New York? Where were you in New York?
It was like a kind of one of those vacations where you have no money, so I just go to a restaurant at 6 a.m., knock on the door, and be like, can I cook?
Wow.
Just for the day, I'm not looking for a job. I just want to see what it's like cooking in New York, and honestly, I'm broke, and I would like to have family meal, and I can, I have skills,
Will work for family meal,
leg,
yeah.
So yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun way to meet people, and it's I guess a cheap way to be a tourist.
Yeah, for real. Awesome, man. We're going to switch gears for a quick little segment. We are joined by Odetta Hartman, who, as well as taking awesome photos and helping out with all these interviews, is a musician herself. So I'm going to pass the mic over to her for a quick little music segment on this.
Shit, please don't make me sing a song.
How do you do?
That's a good idea.
No, we're not going to put you on the spot, but we cannot ignore the fact that we are here in Nashville, Tennessee, also known as Music City. And while we are focusing on your fabulous food, we do have some questions about who your favorite musicians are.
Ooh.
I know you mentioned you don't like Taylor Swift, but...
No, I don't like Taylor Swift, but yeah. I think she's hot, though. So I'm going to go way back. I'm going to go with Sergei Rachmaninoff is probably one of my favorites, George Gershwin, and then Frank Sinatra. New people, it's hard for me to get into anything new.
So now take a moment and imagine that Rachmaninoff,
Yeah.
Gershwin, and Sinatra are all sitting in one of these amazingly classy booths right here. What would you put on a plate in front of those fine fellows?
A really nice Pappy Van Winkle, some hand-rolled cigarettes, and then I definitely start with some salami. We do a lot of charcuterie here, and I think I'm getting pretty good at it. Some big pieces of meat, and I don't know what do depressed Russians like to eat. I mean, boiled potatoes, maybe. Maybe I'll put some hot sauce on it to show them what life is like. And I don't know. I guess Frank Sinatra, though, I'm sure he would eat anything I put in front of me. I'm thinking definitely pasta in front of all Blue Eyes, Yeah.
Smoking in the restaurant.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Oh yeah. I wouldn't don't tell the owner, but yeah. We have high ceilings. Nobody will ever know.
Well, thank you.
Awesome. All right, well, we're
That was so
wrapping up here. Two little quick things we end with. This is a thing we do on all our interviews called Big Ups. Basically just giving you a chance to big up somebody in the community that you think is also doing great work, whether it's a chef or really anybody, just somebody you want to give some big ups to.
I'll start with Jennifer Justice. She's an old food writer here in town. She's right for the Tennessean, but she's doing this kind of farm project with refugees from Nepal and all these other third world countries, and she brings them here through I forgot the name of